Welcome to this special Economic Times Health World conversation on joint preservation, the future of orthopedic care. We are joined by Dr. Kiran Kharat, a leading orthopedic consultant and joint replacement surgeon and founder director of the Department of Arthritis and Joint Replacement at Ruby Hall Clinic and Birla Hospital, Pune. Dr. Kharat, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me. It's really a pleasure to discuss a topic which is truly the direction where modern orthopedics is going, actually. It is smarter care and patient specific care. So, thank you very much.
So, before we go deeper, Doctor, could you start by really explaining what joint preservation really means?
As it says, so joint preservation means to maintain the health and function and the longevity of the natural joint the patient was born with. So, for that, the patient should seek help early. So, an early diagnosis is important. And then we can consider therapies which are regenerative, which are biological, along with lifestyle interventions. So, all of this to make that joint functional well. So, the patient is optimizing, the timing of surgery and keeping productive while he's waiting. So the idea is to give the best quality of movement to the patient and use the correct early conservative techniques for the same. So that's what it means.
Okay. And how does orthopedic care has evolved over the last decade in balancing preservation with replacement?
See, in the past, many patients came to us very late. So, I remember seeing very gross deformities and the bone touching bone with osteophytes, and the patient really was crippled. But nowadays, many patients are aware, and through sort of awareness through media, mobile phones, and literature, and they come early, and that is good because then we can intervene early. And
Yeah.
this doesn't mean that we have to avoid surgery, but we can tailor the specific treatment for the patient so that whenever surgery happens, the patient is ready for it. So I think
Hmm.
the modern view is that it is a continuum, and we start with prevention, preservation, and then move on to surgical reconstruction when required. So that is like a comprehensive joint care to the patient.
Okay. And why is this preservation focused approach so important for patients?
I tell my patients that the natural joint is really a feat of excellent biomechanics and engineering and stability,
Mhm.
and it is worth protecting. So whatever God gave us or nature gave us, it's impeccable. So if we can maintain the cartilage health for as long as we can, and at the same time the patient keeps his muscle function good, so the soft tissue envelope around the knee or the hip, then the patient can move better, can stay active with good physiotherapy, good rehabilitation. And even when the time for surgery comes, the outcomes are much better because the patient has been active and the muscles are stronger. So even the rehabilitation gets better. So it's a win win situation. So while we're waiting, we do conservative things. And when the surgery does occur, the patient is ready for it.
Great. So, how critical do you think is early diagnosis in these cases?
As you can realize, it's extremely important because usually degeneration begins very quietly, and there will be some stiffness, some swelling, and many of us ignore it and we live with it. So if the patient comes early, then we can do a thorough clinical assessment. We can do proper imaging, which can be simple x-rays or sometimes CT scans or MRIs. Sometimes
Hmm.
ultrasound scans also help. We
Hmm.
can do analysis of the gait. We can start with simple things like even getting proper custom insoles or maybe proper physiotherapy and rehabilitation. We can give a lot of oral supplements which are nutraceuticals which support the cartilage. We can also consider special injections which are viscosupplementation or hyaluronic acid injections. So it is the component is hyaluronan, which is a very specific component of the viscous nature of the synovial fluid, and
Hmm.
we can extend the life of the joint for as long as we can using these techniques.
So, while you've told about how we can extend it, could you also elaborate on how much does lifestyle influence the joint care?
Well, thanks for asking that because that is a very important question. Simple interventions in lifestyle can really help a lot uh, with the additional things I mentioned. So, for example, the patient should maintain an ideal weight because excess weight is common sense will cause more stress on the joint. I always encourage my patients to be very regular with their exercise and indulge in low impact exercises. So, even like walking, swimming, cycling, and of course, good physiotherapy and strengthening muscles around the joint helps distribute the stresses in a better way. So, I think along with patient awareness to recognize the early warning signs and before serious degeneration or before it wears out completely, the trajectory of care can change based on how early the patient comes and how proper the diagnosis is.
So, while technology has transformed orthopedic surgery, but how is it helping in joint preservation? If you could elaborate a bit on that.
Again, a great question because change is the only constant, and technology keeps on evolving, and orthopedics has been closely associated with technology right from the days of navigation, where we had an era of navigation where we used computers to get our alignments. Then gradually that has now progressed to robotics, where we have a lot of systems in India which are basically using CT scan or patient mapping to get a proper, accurate sort of diagram of the patient's bones. And then we can actually plan how we put the implant in the knee or the hip using these technologies. So what it does, it gives us precision, certainly, and accuracy. Now, that doesn't mean that traditional surgery is to be completely discarded. I think it's important that the surgeon be well experienced in traditional techniques before embracing new technologies like robotics, because no matter what, there is a learning curve for these things, and the robot doesn't do the surgery. It is a surgeon who does the surgery using the robot as a tool. So it is an expensive tool right now. It adds to the surgery, and the decision is whether this excess cost is really worth it. And that discussion should be with the surgeon and the patient. So I have used various robots, like to name a few: the Mako, the Cori, the Cubis, the Velis, and so on. And each robot has its plus points and various sort of technical differences. But yes, it does add to the surgical time, but then you get accuracy and precision. But again, each patient has to take a decision individually.
Okay. And from a cost and accessibility standpoint, is joint preservation realistic for Indian patients?
Cost is a big factor, not only in India, but across Asia and the world at large. So, simple messages, early approach, so early awareness by the patient, early treatment by the doctor will offset the overall costs. For example, if the patient comes early, we start with physiotherapy, we start with supplementation, we start with rehabilitation. So when you consider that we can keep this young patient active, we reduce the healthcare burden because the patient is active and mobile while undergoing conservative treatment. So it is very practical and preventive. And overall, I think it is cost beneficial to get early treatment.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Kharat, for those enlightening insights. It's clear that modern orthopedics is moving towards a complete joint care ecosystem, from prevention to precision surgery. If you would like to share a message to the audience.
Well, thank you very much for having me, on this discussion. I think it's a simple sort of sentence. So, preserve when I can and restore when I must. So that's my philosophy. I think the overall aim is that the patient should move pain free and take care of the joints. Like a better joint health means a better life, because life is movement and movement is life. So that's what I would like to summarize. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that lovely message, sir. And thank you everyone for joining in.
Thank you.